Hello snowboarders of the internet, I am your host TC and this is Top 5s, the only weekly top 5 show in snowboarding that you come to see which boards are going to keep you on top of that powder. And I'm not talking that South American Colombian powder. I'm talking that white stuff that's fallen from the sky. On today's episode, we're going to be talking about the top 5 best POW boards for the 25-26 season. If you're interested in any of these boards that I mentioned in the video, make sure you're going down in that description and clicking those affiliate links. If you want to do it more of an old school approach, you can stop into your local shop and just tell them that we sent you. Number 5 is the Lib Tech McWayfinder III. I absolutely love this board. It is so much fun, especially because of how well this thing floats in the powder. When I rode it, it was pretty much just a day after POW day and it got pretty warm, but that was pretty much no match for this board because it just floated right over everything, whether it was the hot POW or that fresh stuff I could find in the trees. But this board is super maneuverable. It wants to just stay above the snow, especially when you're shifting your weight back. You got that rocker or that reverse camber in between your feet, and that's just gonna help that nose pop up, making it super maneuverable, and you can just wiggle this thing through the tightest trees. I absolutely loved it. I think it's better than the previous version, so you guys crushed it. I didn't know it could get even more fun than it was originally, so this board, so much fun. If you're looking for that just mellow POW board, great option for you. Number 4, the Capita Navigator. If you caught my review last year, you know how much I absolutely love this board, and it hasn't changed for this year. It's so much fun. They added that wood veneer top sheet on it, giving it a little bit more rigidity, just giving you a little bit more snap, but you don't have to sacrifice on float with this board. It wants to stay above the snow, but where I really had a great time with it is taking it off of those smaller drops and pretty much just trying to nose butter this thing. It was so much fun. Very versatile board that doesn't have to be just straight up in the fresh POW all the time. You can ride it the day after, just be carving, find a little patch somewhere, and just absolutely know that it's gonna float right through it where you don't really have to worry. I really like this board a lot. It has definitely improved from the last one, so good for you guys at Capita. It is a great board. Definitely nice, still approachable board where even though it does have that veneer top sheet, doesn't make it crazy stiff. You're still looking at the softer side of things. Number 3 is the Nidecker Beta APX. Hits this board right over my left shoulder here. It is a blast. This board can really handle any powder situation you throw it in. I think it really excels on those nose butters because you do have such a large nose on it. It does have a little bit of extra rocker in that nose, so when you do throw it into that butter, you don't really have to worry about it just trying to fight you and throw you down. It's actually got enough rigidities where I could throw all of my weight into it and just know that it holds. And when you're just riding it regularly through the trees or just through a wide open POW groomer, it's definitely stable enough and gets over enough where you can really just wiggle this thing through if you want to take a nice tight line, or if you want to just have that wide open run, you can easily do that. That nose just wants to stay above the snow, so you're all good to go there. That board, so much fun. I would highly recommend it, especially if you haven't ridden a Nidecker before. While I have you here, you might as well like, subscribe, click that bell, and turn on those notifications so you don't miss any of our scheduled programming. Number 2, the Stranda Makrill. This board is so much fun. If you've seen Avran's review of it, you'll know how much he absolutely loved this thing. And honestly, from the way it looks, you wouldn't expect for it to do really what it can do to its fullest. This board still has a good pop to it. Just note that if you are going to be getting this thing in the air, there isn't a lot of tail, so you don't really want to land really tail heavy on this board. A little bit more bolts for you and you'll be totally fine. The nose on this board really wants to stay above the snow even when it's super uneven and just choppy, pushed over. The board doesn't want to just dive underneath it. It wants to stay above, keeping it nice and smooth. All that power is going to be coming from the tail side where pretty much the camber peaks almost right under your back foot, probably a little bit in front of it. But that's just going to keep this thing nice and stable, give you a little bit extra pop and a little bit of landing gear to it, but overall this board can really charge through any snow condition out there. So even if you're not riding it on just a perfect day, you can still just hit the groomers, rip some carves with it, and then go duck into the trees and find all that untouched white stuff. honorable mentions. Remember, these are all great options, they just weren't able to crack our top 5. The first honorable mention is the Borealis Leviathan. This board is amazing in fresh powder, where it actually doesn't feel as long as it is. So Avran rode it in 166, he said it rode like it was just in the high 50s. So this board is nice and nimble. It will cut down on some chatter underneath your feet there, so you really don't have to worry about it, because of all that stiffness is coming from the middle of the board as opposed to really the nose and the tail. The second honorable mention is the Nitro Stiletto. This is a pretty much one-off board where they're not going to be making it next year, so I would highly recommend, if you're interested in it, picking it up this year just because it's not going to be around. But this board absolutely rips, where you can just pretty much ride it in any sort of fresh pow and just trust that it is going to stay above the snow. Because the nose does have some rocker in it, it helps it just get right over. Even in those rutted sections, it doesn't want to dive into them, it wants to stay above them, making this thing float really nicely. And the final honorable mention is going to be the Arbor A Frame. This board absolutely can rip the fresh pow from 2 inches to 10 inches to 2 feet. Doesn't even matter with this board, it's gonna hold. The main thing that's great about this board is it's not strictly stuck in the pow. You can take it on a groomer and absolutely rip carves with it. And I mean, that's pretty much how it's always been. It just feels a little bit better now that they've pretty much readjusted this board and fine-tuned it. It feels absolutely amazing out there, where you can just take it out the day after, rip some hard groomers, find that fresh pow stash, and just take it in and have a great time. Remember, these boards are all great options for pow boards, they just weren't able to crack our top 5 this year. If you're looking for another way to get involved in the Angry Snowboarder community, head on over to Angry Snowboarder VIP. What is it, you might ask? Sure, I could explain it here, but we have a great video over there getting into it really in depth. And the number 1 pow board for the 25-26 season is the Jones Hovercraft 2.0. I rode this board last year, I rode it again this year, I rode it in 160 last year, rode it in the 56 this year, and both times I absolutely loved it. Whether you're riding the bigger version or just the regular size version for yourself, you'll notice this thing floats like a dream. It does hold an edge, especially when you're going over those push piled areas, when you're just like pretty much at the mountain a little bit too late when everybody else is left and you're like, there's still some fresh powder out there. You can still get it on this board. It holds up extremely well. It is more of that back foot rider, but it floats very well. Because of that long nose with the 3D in it, you don't have to worry about it trying to sink or just getting stuck on one edge, especially when you're in rutted and just pushed out situations. This board will still get over for you with zero problems. It's a little bit on the stiffer end, just so you know there, that it will be able to just pretty much all out charge on it. Doesn't really matter the conditions there. So it will handle that for you, where you could take it in the fresh pow, carve it like a dream, not have to worry. But then when it's just beat up, you can still rip this thing and trust that it's gonna hold and you're not just gonna get just thrown around on it. Truly an amazing pow board, and I love that they updated it, gave it some recycled tech in there, and just pretty much made this thing to the max of what it could be. As always, guys, I've been your host, TC, and this has been the top 5 best pow boards for the 25-26 season. Leave a comment down below. Let me know what you think about the list or what you're going to be riding for this season, just because everybody loves that fresh pow, so you got to have a deck that's going to be ready for it.